is the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. Every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
Risk must be taken for the greatest. Hazard in life is to risk nothing.
Take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
I think that most people, the reason that they lack success in their life is that they lack the courage to make the decisions that need to be made to put them in the position that they want to be in.
You can get so scared, and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking, in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
I like that. Taking risk and going big. Actually, the fact that you do have time. We do have time. I think when you feel like you run out of time, you make stupid moves. Call that FOMO. Welcome. Happy Taco Tuesday to everybody out there in the crypto space. By gosh, it is Tuesday. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, if you're on Kick, you got to follow me. Sign up for Kick. Follow your boy. All right. If you're on YouTube, post notifications, subscribe. You know the drill. X, you gotta follow me on X. Links in the description of YouTube. Some of you suckers aren't watching me on YouTube or aren't following me yet. Make sure you follow me and retweet that we're live. Everybody out there. We're going to talk about the Pulsechain Watch List. All right. Now remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I for damn sure I'm not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow a social media influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency, because you could get wrecked. Could lose it all. All right. Now that we got that out the way. JMO Crypto, what's up? I was just open the DMs. It was going down in the DM, right? I was just hitting him up, going back and forth here and there when I got time to reach out to some of the fellas out there, and then some, I forget to get back. But shout out to you. Got my pen and paper ready. What are you risking for the biscuit? What are we risking it for the biscuit on? We'll get into that. We're going to look at the watch list. Before we go on, this week's sponsor. Don't forget, guys, go to dexfi.com. We're going to talk about Pulsechain today. But if you want to build your portfolio over there on base chain, on the blockchain, Dex, all right, DexFi. That's DEXFI.com/bonds, where you can go mint your NFT on base chain and get a piece of the action with these treasury bonds. I did a video about that the other day. Go check that out. They already got $352,198 of mints of people getting their piece of the pie, getting their piece of the action. And just like I told you, when they started to kickstart the funds, the APR would be around 100 to 200%. Look at that juicy APR, 101.39. Get paid in USDC. Check it out. You'll see during the duration of the live stream right here, right there. Take a look right there. Okay. Little logo up there. Oh, is that the right spot? Is it over there? It's somewhere there. So check them out. All right. Now let's go take a look at Pulsechain. What do we got going on? First of all, let's start from the top, huh? We got to start from the top, the alpha male, Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Forget trading view today. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin on coinmarketcap.com. $105,642 Bitcoin. We're going to go back to 110. We're going to go to 120, 130. Where's this $200,000 Bitcoin that everyone's talking about? It seemed like at one point everyone was like, Bitcoin's going to $250,000. Like the institutional money is coming. I think a lot is pouring in. Like BlackRock sold a ton of Bitcoin And then they bought like $60 million plus in ETH. And then ETH price is like some of that limp D action. So I don't even know if there's enough new money to come in outside of the big institutional investors that are there. People say like, hey, once the ETH staking ETFs, wait for this, wait for that. We'll see. We're still waiting. ETH a little bit under $2,600. I get happy when ETH's up a little bit, but it's nothing to write a letter home about. You guys remember, you got short-term memory loss, anybody? Because I don't. 1 year ago in March, $4,000 ETH. What's going on? We'll see. Pulsechain, 2 years in the making. 2 years in the making, 4 zeros and a 327. It's very interesting because 2 years ago, this bad boy launches in May. We get the SEC that comes in, files a lawsuit against the code, really against RH, right? I mean, a year and a half plus later, he beats the SEC in court. Defeats them. You would think we'd have like a big green candle acceptance across the board. So maybe that's coming soon. Maybe there'll be like Binance and Kraken and all these gatekeepers out there that are going to literally open the floodgates to the possibility of Pulse, and not only just Pulse and Plsx, but the core tokens, including Hex and Ink, to be listed. And then could you imagine seeing a super duper like shit coin, like a meme token on there? Anything really. One could dream. I don't know. I got high hopes and expectations, and we'll see if we get there. You just never know. Well, let's go take a look. We'll start from the top. Taco Tuesday numbers. Taco Tuesday altcoins. Man. Most wanted. This is supposed to be the top meme, for Pulse, in my opinion, right? This one right now is running hard in the wrong direction. However, I've been talking about this. This June is going to be the biggest opportunity in crypto for a lot of us, especially on Pulsechain. I believe the Pulsechain bottom is here this month. Either we touch the previous bottom, or we go down and then we go up and to the right heading into August for the rest of the year. Feed off the glory of the rest of the market as things start to recover. Most token. Is it hitting my target yet? I have a little target here, right? We're getting closer and closer. Right? I believe it's going to get close to touching dead even 2 cents. We're at about 2.5 cents, 0.02683. It's going to explode all at once, TG. Once they run, they probably run 4,000 or more within a month. We're going to have another BSC run as well, like we did back in 2019, 2020. Most wanted is dead because RH not most wanted anymore. He's still on Interpol's list. He hasn't been removed, I don't believe, unless that came out. They're still after him for the tax evasion. So the most wanted list, he's still on there, but the SEC ain't going after him anymore. They lost. 0-1 versus RH. 0-1. And he'll be removed soon. We'll see, man. In order to get that removed, you're going to have to pay your taxes or prove that you don't owe the taxes. Tax evasion is a very different and serious thing. And most people will be like, he's got these attorneys and they can hire lawyers. At the end of the day, your attorneys are going to be like, did you pay any taxes? Because I'm sure people think that the taxes is reflecting the SAC money. The hundreds of millions of dollars that was stated by Interpol as him owing in taxes, like hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes that he owes. It comes from the Where Did the ETH Go Foundation. We'll call it the Where Did the ETH Go Foundation. So what am I talking about? It's basically when Hex first came out, day one of the AA lobbies all the way to the very last day, you were able to exchange your Ethereum for Hex via these lobbies. That Ethereum got tornadoed cash to somewhere. And Richard always said, like, you're not supposed to know where that ETH went. It's none of your business. No expectations. He always set that ground rule, which saved them later in the case versus the SEC. But whoever took that Ethereum started in December of 2019 and all through, the year of 2020, the Ethereum that was given to the AA to basically give you a share of Hex in the infant stages, that's the money that they're asking about. And there could be back taxes on other stuff and whatnot, but we know how far deep Richard is, and not so much wanting to cheat the system, but he feels like he can outsmart and beat the system. So there's a man who just beat the SEC, who thought he was right in that regards. It ended up being right. And obviously, if he's not paid taxes, he doesn't think he owes it. Will he pay them anytime soon to get out of that? Probably not. He'll probably fight it. But it's a way different battle. It's a way different battle when it comes to taxes. And that's all up to Finland. I don't know nothing about that. I know in the US, you ain't going on a list. They're going to catch you unless you're John McAfee and you're on the run and you saw what happened to him. Let's go to Pulsechain. Brutal day. It's kind of disturbing too, because I'm like, Bitcoin's $105,000. And we're at these prices. So if you're looking at the last bull market, right, where Bitcoin hit 65K, Judas candle wick to 69. So we'll call it 65. If we want to meet in the middle and say Bitcoin's all-time high was 67,500, you can call it 66, whatever it may be. Let's call it 65. 75,000. 85,000, 95,000, 105,000. We're sitting at $40,000 plus the previous all-time high of Bitcoin. And Ethereum is where it's priced at right now, and Pulsechain is where it's priced out right now. They didn't move with the overall market that everything is bonded to, which is Bitcoin. Hart's Law basically came from he realizing that everything is so heavily bonded to Bitcoin, which was Ethereum at the time, that all tides rise together. So it's interesting to see as the tides are rising, 40,000 plus since the last cycle, and Bitcoin being $40,000 above its previous all-time high, and it's been 50,000 plus, Ethereum has not performed well. And how do we analyze that? And we look, now we can't say much about the SEC because it's been defeated. The blockchain won, Richard won in court. Now that should be bullish sentiment. The Interpol issue is interesting because now that's showing how, I guess you could say a decentralization should really be true at the core, where it doesn't depend on a founder or anybody, but the investors in the actual blockchain that is decentralized rely so heavily on Richard to not only pump their bags, but to remain in good terms legally, whether it's taxes or with the SEC. Bad terms, sell off. On a most wanted list, uncertainty and doubt, unsure. Just like we just saw somebody in the comments say he'll be removed soon, and a lot of people are speculating that, and then we don't have any excuse, right? But I don't think the market price reflects the most wanted list. It hasn't up until he was on that list not too far back. right? That happened, well over a year after everything had took place. We're running out of not ideas, but reasonings behind the performance of Pulsechain. And the thing I always say about it is it's all about new users, right? More users, more developers, the better we'll do. Pulse 4003247. Not too bad of a day. It could be worse, right? Ink token no longer is really like incentive token anymore. There's no incentive at this point. When it comes to farming, you don't earn incentive token. So the incentive would be to hold and hope that the price goes up. You don't earn any emissions right now that is worth your time and effort, even if you're a large player for the farms. Since there's admin keys and that was adjusted, I wonder if that gets put back later. I've heard people talk about when the emissions kick back in and APR's back. I was like, oh, you know what? That's right. It was an admin key that originally did that. So it would be like not far out of the realm of believing that could be a possibility. That might happen, right? Volt and remember V2. Let me take a look. Vault, what was I going to say? Remember is actually, let me see. Yeah, it's on the watch list. It's always been. But Vault soon. And right now, you're not earning diddly squat in ROI. And that right there, and I talked about this in the members only video. By the way, links in the description, guys. We went over, a token that we speculated on that we, if you're in R2R, a lot of people are excited about speculating on it and whatnot. $2.99 a month. Have a coffee. Buy me a coffee. Join me on YouTube for members only. Well, share my deepest, darkest secrets. And, any alpha that might come my way. But we did go over a speculative token that we will have added to the watch list. And you can hear that breakdown if you're a member and haven't watched it. Take a look at that video yesterday. It went live yesterday in a live stream. Check out the link in the description if you want to be a member, though. That's exclusive to YouTube. Now, back to remember, right? Let me go to the site here to take a look at the ROI for the daily on all these tokens right now and see what's going on, right? So what's going on with this, man? Come on. What's going on, Thomas G? All right, I'm going to bring it up right now. So we're at OG Printers -tracker.lovable.app, where you can see all the lovely ROI percentages for the OG ecosystem. And right now, nothing paying nothing, right? Everything has been put on hold. Flexminus is like at 1.22%, right? Remember 0.07, and remember was just printing. So ROI is down on the daily. It's gone down to nothing as they work on vaults. And during that time, they said they were going to put the bot operations to rest while they work on the vaults, and that they'll be coming out. And the word is, soon, eventually, one day. We don't know. However, the opportunity during a time like this where ROI shut down, like people, if you notice the environment that you're in an OG ecosystem, rotation station, okay? Rotation station. It's rotating like a rotisserie chicken. It's spinning, and you're at the store and you're watching it spin. The guy pull it out, package it up for you. People rotate around the ecosystem, and then when there is no ROI, people sell and they sideline or they leave and go elsewhere, wherever, whatever it may be. All right, this is where it's in attack mode. I love attack mode because I was a huge Kobe Bryant fan, right? And mom mentality. Then attack mode, LeBron James was more about the attack mode. But attack mode, like attacking the basket and going hard when you're down and you're in a 10-point deficit, 5-point deficit. A lot of people are in a deficit as far as being down on an ROI investment or on Pulsechain in general. But that's where I take the opportunity where the fear is there, right? Some people are down 5, 10, 15, 20 points, whether that represents 5, 10, 15,000, and it's over for them, and they walk away and they take the loss. And then you got those people who just get fired up in attack mode. So I get into attack mode on when I get most interested in buying, dips, taking advantage of the opportunities in front of me in hopes, right? In hopes that the speculation that the vaults will revive, one of these given tokens that I'm in. So remember, we've seen what it could do. I've lived through it in the past week, the crazy ROI. The insane volume. I think we saw $55 million in volume in a 24-hour period. Okay. You've seen everything that you possibly could have imagined that happened on Pulsechain. You've never even seen the entire chain have that much volume in one day, let alone maybe even a week that Remember had on just a day. Nothing in a 5-minute time frame, in the 1 hour, and a 6 hour, and definitely in the 24-hour period. So there was some sauce there. There was some sauce that was sprinkled out there for you guys, right? And I couldn't imagine that sauce not being just thrown on there again, right? We know they put the bots to the side. They're working on the vaults. So, for me, now it's time to buy the fear in hopes that the tides will rise within the ecosystem, and certain ones will rise and fly like an eagle, and some may not. Who knows? It depends on the chosen ones. But these vaults are going to have something to it that could be really bullish. One can only hope, one can only speculate. And it's not like the price being down is just in relation to the OG ecosystem. It's Pulsechain across the board as the entire ecosystem. Okay. But we are getting more people that are building, more people that are becoming developers. They're inspired by OG, inspired by Maria, inspired by meme tokens, and more people are starting to build more than ever on Pulsechain that are trying to replicate printers, which is good. Okay. That leads us to alt token over here that we talked about the other day during the Show Me live stream on Sunday. So on Sundays, I'm going to do Pulsechain Show Me Sundays, right? Where I'm literally just going to kick back on camera, pull out some popcorn and some fruit, and you guys show me what you guys got out there. This is the biggest one. And you know what? Look at what happened, right? We're talking about it on Sunday. It takes off. Dumps hard, bro. Then you're thinking like, oh man, like everyone dumped on my head and you're depressed and you sell for a loss. Well, if you just kind of waited around, right? You let the people who, there's always going to be the ROI crew. I'm in the ROI crew. I'm in the long-term crew. I'm in the short-term crew. I'm in the get wrecked crew. I'm part of everything, right? I believe take your profits. And if you could have bought back in and then boom, another one, bought this dip, boom, another one, there's money to have been made. And the community is pretty strong. And, these are people that are familiar with the tokenomics and familiar with printers because they come from OG's ecosystem. So it's interesting to see, and how I've always been thankful for Maria in inspiring these liquidity webs and inspiring builders and developers to come out and invent a PTGC, a UFO, and be their own ecosystems, because they've all been some of the best projects that have brought volume, including OG. Right now, he's inspiring people to go out there and make their own. And Olympiax, one of them. First one that came around, right? Shout out to the boys out there that were the creators. And the original token, it's now a 3-token ecosystem. The original token was RSI, right? That's the OG token. And this is a part of a web ecosystem of printers. First token, RSI, oversold. Next comes Secret. Then there was speculation that there was going to be a third token, right? These are driven people inspired from OG, love passive income, love the printer mentality, love the printer ecosystems. And then came the birth of Hidden. Hidden came printing stable tokens, right? You can see here pretty much trading sideways and not going too far up or down. This is what you want in a printer, just solid, sideways action and just print, whether it's 1%, 2% per day. That's a beautiful thing. Heck, even 0.5% is wonderful. Thoughts on Richard Hart's Bitcoin meme on Pulsechain? Are you talking about P-Wrap Bitcoin, or was there one that launched on Pump Tires? If there's one that launched on Pump Tires, I'm not aware of it. I'll look for it if I can find it. But the only one that I know of, which you can consider it a meme, definitely, right? It's a meme until it isn't, until it hits parity, would be this bad boy right here, which is P-Wrap Bitcoin, the free copy of the ERC20 version of Bitcoin. Very interesting token. It was just here in the high fives, low six. One thing about this free copy is it's only got 154,410 token supply. So that's pretty damn scarce, if you ask me. It doesn't get any more scarce than that. I mean, hey, imagine if the real Bitcoin was 154,410. Then you have your $1 million Bitcoin, right? So just that alone, with the short supply and there being a big holder that owns about 21% of it, 32,671, which is rumored to be RH, right? Leads you to believe this can go up pretty high. Will it hit a parity? I don't know. This is like a community-driven atmosphere. Every free copy has been a speculative asset, right? Hopping back to Atropa, Fed. I love Fed. Fed has not taken a beat down. It just keeps going up and up to the right, having a correction, small ones, trading sideways, going back up, and working its way to just adding more users, more wallet holders. This is good for the ecosystem too. All right. Let's hop back to where were we on the watch list, because I want to keep focus on, OG tokens too. I think it's important to realize kind of the chain of events that I feel like are going to take place. There are going to be things you may have to wait for a long period of time. Maybe it's a short period of time. Maybe it's in the next day, the next week, the next month. But someone's asking, can PWBTC be minted? Technically, yes, because there's admin keys. Will it be? It seems highly unlikely is the thing. But yeah, that's from what I understand. Finfesta, $33. It got close to $50. It's hit $100 before. But this is in the OG ecosystem. If you're not looking to be in ROIs, because I don't think people can really help it. If you're in an ROI token in OG's ecosystem and one goes down, you're in it to print. You're likely going to swap to the next one that has the highest ROI. That's why it happens the way it does. Finfesta is ROI drama free, and it's actually getting burnt a lot. All right. So as I took my recent break on the frustration and just, having that not so much animosity, but am I printing today? Oh, I need to get to the other one. Being in a rotation station, because you can get caught up in that rotation station. You'll be there for days, sometimes weeks. And, you truthfully at heart want all of them, to print all of them. But outside of that, Finfest is great, and everything, all roads lead to burning this token. And Mizer's kind of up there too in that same category. But technically that's a printer also. Finfest is just, it is what it is, and it's great. All right. I haven't heard anything outside of the early speculation that Flexmas was going to be part of the vaults, right? Is it the chosen one? I think there was people saying that it was going to be. I had got some to ride the wave, and I'm like, it's going to do this and this, depending on how bullish the vaults are. Right now, we can only guess. So people are in my chat were saying there's team tokens. They think there's going to be teams. They're like, Team R2R is going to kill it. I'm like, if there is a team system, Team R2R, we should kill it, right? We should. We've been talking about OG's ecosystem since February. That's 4 months ago, right? I've been a loud voice in the space as far as Pulsechain with these printers. I can't go a stream without talking about them, right? Or being in them. I can't go a week without being in them. Can't go a day. So it's cool. It's cool. It's addicting. It's sticky. Has you coming back, buying more, whatever it may be. Yeah, dominant. So none of these are printing right now, but they're all good prices. The opportunity could be there. I want EHEX. If I'm right, and we touch these bottoms again, the last absolute bottom for EHEX, I believe it was 6 months ago. Or not 6 months ago. It was in the past few months, right? What did I do here? I remember the cheapest I bought. Yeah, like around here. But did it go any lower? Oh, damn. I wasn't buying that much here. The cheapest I was getting it right around here. I had been buying it before it got to here. But the lowest I think I ever got was 2 zeros and a 1.3, 1.4 on one day. I must have stopped buying during this time. At the time, I was caught up in a lot of other things, like even Titan X, meme tokens on ETH. But yeah, I think it'll hit those numbers again. BlackRock selling Bitcoin, buying up ETH. Yep. We talked about that earlier too. BlackRock sold all kinds of Bitcoin and spent about 60 million on ETH. And ETH's like, those are going to be like the biggest buyers, right? So how much more institutional money do you need to actually get ETH to 3,000? Retail doesn't seem like it's going to be strong enough in Ethereum to get it to a new all-time high. So you would literally need the biggest of the biggest purchases between all of the institutions, like all the institutional investors, all of Wall Street, that just start banging that buy button, fat fingering it, market buying ETH to even get to 3,000 plus. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Is it a good time to get to remember? I mean, it's super cheap. It's a believer's ecosystem now. If you believe in the ecosystem, which I still do, that's why I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still in Finfesta. I got the reason why I have remember is because I was swinging that bad boy. I was swinging it. And then one day I was like, I gotta rest. And I was like, oh, we ain't gonna swing it no more. I went way below entry again. And I thought I got a good entry. I'm a little bit below entry, but like I had gotten it good, sold it. And there was some crazy volume at the time too. So, it is what it is. That's crypto. But I was making some pretty good ends. WWPP. I think when it comes to WWPP, you had OG come out and tell you, the benefits of the new technology that 3D was working on and how they implement it and how the arbs between several pools had a lot to do with the upcoming and ongoing success that, I believe we'll see it. And there's people that started to buy when OG was talking about it. However, I felt like there should have been a bigger wave, right? So people have to see it to believe it. When they see it and they start believing, they will be buying our bags at a premium for those that are stacking up right now. All right. That's the thing. All right. How long ago was it when you were hitting a few wins on ETH memes? Was that when ETH hit 4K? I can't remember. I do remember you caught a good few 5-figure days. Yeah. So, my last one was August of 2024. Nero CTO, 800K market cap. That thing went to a $1 billion market cap. That was towards the end of the beginning of the TitanX bull, and the TitanX bull run ended right where I said it was going to, heading into early November, like clockwork. So that's because of the lack of new users and the ongoing printing of new tokens, that all the new tokens and everything that was built was weighing heavy on one exit point, which was TitanX. So I was like, hey guys, do you see this? And everyone's like, throw a big old rock at Thomas G. No, Hey man, what happened? I don't want to say it, you can say it. ETH staking ETF is going to take ETH to the moon. Yeah, that's what people are saying, but I believe that's priced in because we know it's coming. So the institutional investors are already buying it in preparation. They're not going to buy it a week before that passes. They're not going to buy it a month before that passes. That's not going to even be something they do after the facts. They're going to already have, right? They're already going to have their positions. And I believe those positions were being bought a long time ago when that news was first coming out. And news of that possibly happening, right? That started going on. People were starting to talk about that. And then it started to be even more serious a year later. The ETH last March was $4,000. And then when it was hitting 3,700, 3,000 again, and even previously in the recent months where it was going up, the big money was buying it in preparation. So the simple fact that they buy a lot of ETH to stake it, okay, staking is just as, I guess you can say, it's a different form of mining. So what's the biggest problem that Bitcoin has right now is there's always sell pressure from miners. There's always been sell pressure from the miners on an everyday, weekly basis because they need to hit their return on investment. So with staking, right, you don't stake it to keep compounding. Well, you could, but a lot of them will stake it till they make it, meaning make it back. And there's always going to be that sell pressure too that has been a part of Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be I think there's crazy numbers that they predicted if there wasn't always that sell pressure of miners, right? Meaning the mining equipment's expensive. It's not expensive to stake ETH. However, you are going to be able to incentivize to stake more and compound. Or why wouldn't you take that money and sell it to get your return on investment and keep that locked in? You could even stake half of what you get back and sell the other half, or do whatever you want. But there will be sell pressure from that. We don't know what it's going to look like. I don't think anyone knows. I would be so bullish on Ethereum going to $10,000 if this right here, if there was no Solana, no layer 2s, not even a Tron, if there was none of those, we go to 10K. But we're not in a world where other technology exists. It's having huge success. That's the thing, right? That's just kind of what I think. I think since it's new, people have to see it work. Cheers, everyone. What's up, Duke? Treasury or FUD? Do we want to talk about, well, yeah, everybody in R2R pretty much took the leap in the token that we are speculating on now. I'm just going to say we've added to this watch list, this token here. If you're a member, you can go watch the speculation on this in the members only video. But we've just added exploited no value token. R2R, it was dropped in there originally, and I had taken a look at it. We've taken a look at some data on chain to speculate, to have some fun, you know, have some hopes, have some dreams. And yeah, this one right here is the new one. So loading up on that right now. As far as what I'm speculating, as far as what I'm thinking, as far as what I'm dreaming, yeah, it's not something I talk about on a regular live right now. You know, I'll just say we've added it to the watch list. R2R is watching, R2R is thinking, R2R is like, what's going on here? There's no clear understanding, but it's now part of the puzzle, a piece of the puzzle that, you know, you try to put together for big opportunity, right? Sometimes you piece things together and it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But this one right here, no value, has been added to the watch list. And I'm buying it, and I'm buying it, and I'm buying it. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta buy some more. I wish I was getting yield right now. Remember, I'd be buying that all day long. So, gotta give me some more. Gotta give me some more. All right, guys. Well, we're about 42 minutes in. Don't forget, smash those like buttons. Subscribe, post notifications. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand. R2R community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG printer, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fix is ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off Pulsechain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild T5 game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild T5